Welcome to my daily practice at Wendy Coad Art. If you find this video interesting or helpful, please consider subscribing to my channel and liking the video.
Hi, my name is Wendy and I'm an artist. I've been an artist my whole life and I am excited to invite you into my studio and show you my art practice. Welcome to my studio. I'm laughing a bit because I was setting things up this morning and I just got kind of all in a knot. I was on the table adjusting the camera and turning on a light that I wasn't sure was going to blind me, and it's just all in the day's work. But you have to just, well, you don't have to, but I am often amused by these activities that are so engaging and compelling and ridiculous, at some level. Anyway, you've caught me at that moment, or I've caught myself at that moment. So today I am continuing with all of these panels. I'm delighted with how my little goddess images are coming along here. I really want to do some more work, even at the risk of overdoing it and just throwing the whole thing out, because I want to see how far I can push it. That's the dance. That's my daily. It's not a struggle, but my daily activity is to, find that level, so that it's not overworked, it's not underworked, it's just right for me, for what it is that I'm trying to get at here. So let's begin. I want to begin with the back wall. Well, actually, I'm a little torn. I'm a little torn with these pieces. I think it's enough to just have that amount of information. Again, they're going to be separate panels. So, if you just look at that on its own, that's quite enough, as is that. Same thing on the other side. That's quite enough, I think. And of course, I have paintings on the opposite side, so it's really this here. And I'm so enjoying working in abstraction because there's a lot more room for imagination, I think, and I'm enjoying that. So I see my paintings, at a certain stage, and I'm drawn to a certain time period, but it's not the entire history of art, because that goes back thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Abstract painting's only, it's 100 years old, a little bit better than that. There was no need for abstraction before that. There was some practical reasons for art to illustrate, to elevate, to do certain things, and it did those certain things extremely well. And then, boom, abstraction. It could only happen when it happened because of the, just kind of the opening of and the freedom to express oneself personally, not for some other reason. It could just be pure expression. And so it's condensed. The the references that I'm making in my own mind really only span about 100 years. I mean, it can go back further. There was one painting, completely abstract painting I did that I called the Wreck of the Hesperus. It really reminded me. It had that energetic churn of a shipwreck. I don't know how else to say it. And I loved that. I loved that. And yes, it did remind me of that. So it's not like history stops anywhere, it just goes on forever. But, anyways, I'm looking at these paintings. Um, they feel particularly from a certain time period. You know, I can measure it in decades as opposed to millennia. And I languish there sometimes. I like to enjoy that moment and that reflection and that connection before I push them forward, because maybe that's not where I want to stay on that particular day or with that particular painting. So, having explained all of that, these are just my inner musings. I am going to start painting. And I pulled out this, I guess it's a basting brush, because I want to try it on a painting. So let me get a little bit of paint. I'm just trying to pick a color here. Well, I think I'll go with the Indian yellow. Even though I have a great deal of it already in various places, but so now this is pretty thick, pretty viscous. Let's just see how, I mean, I don't cook, so the basting brush is of no use to me. Wow. I'm saying wow because it really reminds me, okay, it's almost useless for painting. But it really reminds me, oh gosh, when I first started painting, I did these large abstract paintings. So yes, I've just come back to where I started. Right in college and out of college, I did abstraction. And I did it because everybody wanted to do figurative painting, and so I wanted to not do that. And then, of course, abstraction was very popular and all around, and so then I went into narrative painting. You kind of get the gist. I like to kind of go my own path. Let's just put it that way. And now I'm back to abstraction. But I did an entire painting. I got a roll of Arches rag, 100% cotton rag paper from France, and you could get it at that time. They have it now, but I used to get 100-yard rolls. Oh, that paper was so beautiful. Initially, it was so thick you could almost like, you know, I don't know, shoot an arrow through it. Could not shoot, well, anyways, it was thick. And I did this long panel, and I painted it, I'm pretty sure exclusively. Maybe I did some background. I don't know. But I did it with plastic forks. And this is very much like the brush stroke of a plastic fork. I'm not sure you're going to be able to see it, but it's like the little chicken scratches. And that painting that I did was 3.5 feet high and 8 feet wide. So it took me a very long time. And now I know that this is not suitable for paint. Well, it is. Anything's suitable for paint, but not for what I want to do. It's more for birds and things you put in the oven. So, but I'm going to try one other thing. Let me see. Where did my water go? It's over here. I'm going to see what happens when I when I dilute it a bit, it might just run more smoothly, and it does not. Not a bit. It's really a non-functioning. Well, if I splash, okay, well, it makes great splashes, but so do many other things. However, I would like to lay a few splashes down. Let's see, this is not on my camera, but I'm going to lay a few splashes down here. You know, sometimes these really dense areas are brightened up. It's almost like you looking at the sky, you know, and all the stars in the sky, in the dark night sky. When there's a really solid dark area on the painting, and you add a few splashes of color that brightens it up. So, a noble experiment. I don't think I need to put it anywhere else. Oh, you know, I have to do some more work on these, so let me just, yeah, why not? Just add a little something. It's adding a little texture. Yep, I tore that paper. That's what you heard. And that was not my intention. Okay, so now I've put paint on here without doing some of the other things that I want to do, but I think I can just move along. Really what I want to work with is the squeegee. And I have everything drying over on this side of the room. I wash my stencils out every night before I go to bed. Actually, I wash them out right after I finish painting so that they do not, you know, get all thick, built up with paint. And thereby you know, are no longer useful. Oh, just see what I can do with this. Okay. I'm looking for a little tool to get this paint out, like a popsicle stick. Where are they? Or a chopstick. Works pretty well too. This Indian yellow is, it's pretty great because it is semi-transparent, you know, especially when I'm scraping it across like this. And, but it still holds a lot of presence. All right, this is just random, you know, experiments, trying to see what works, what doesn't work what adds, what subtracts, what divides. Now, let me grab a stencil. And see where else I can go with this. I'm not happy with the pink here. That pink is not a great color. I mean, don't get me wrong, pink's a great color, but it's kind of a dusty pink, and it's just not, doesn't have any pizzazz. And I'm not sure that I want pink in that area. Let me try a green. And I'm actually just going to put the pigment right on the figure. And then spread it in either direction. Leave a little bit of that pink. Ooh, yeah, that worked very well, I think. Now that I have green here, I'm going to use it for some color blocks. On this and on this. When I get a color I'm liking, I want to keep working with it. So let me see what we have here. I think these could actually use this green very nicely. Wow, I really kind of freshen things up quite a bit. Now the problem with working in a series like this, there's one that is very, how shall I say, it's just not working. It's very dense. Now I have two choices. I can make it darker and, kind of modulate some of the areas that need modulation, or I can make it light. I can just white it out to some degree. And I'm going to go for the light because I can always go darker, but it's harder to go lighter. So I'll start with the light. And then if I want to, I can go back and go dark. Now this is one of 8 panels. I don't really need to invest a lot, but I like to see how things can work. Ooh, well, that can work. Huh, isn't that something? So I put a little light, I don't know what this is, pale yellow, pastel yellow, and it just blocked this dense area, and now it's light. So I'm going to continue down here because this is another problem area. And it worked there too. It's not done because there's a bunch of other areas, but I don't want to just like white it out with this. But it kind of brought it back to the level of the rest of the images in a good way. And I've got a lot of dark shapes on that I'm going to have to deal with at some point. But this is nice. And it's what I like to do. I like to go in and out and push things back and bring them forward again. It's just really my idea of a good time. If I can get the paint to cooperate. And there's still some things here, I guess. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm on a roll now. I like that. Pale pastel yellow. Who knew? Just bring some shapes in and brighten things up a little bit here. Just gonna do it. And I'm over painting, some of the things that I already liked, and that's okay. It's just bringing a little bit of fresh air into some of these areas, or even on the white. Wow, I just remembered something I haven't been doing very much lately. And that is working with, I'm seeing some of the paint drips that I've put on here and how they create a ridge. And I used to do that a fair bit with glue, just, kids' glue. All right, I'm not sure I needed to do that here, but, it's done, and I'll just bring it back as I need to. So, oh yeah, let me do that and see what happens. It's especially nice with the squeegee, because the squeegee running over it, I've got a couple of school glue bottles. The squeegee running over it will create a ridge in the paint, and it goes darker and lighter. I don't have a very good flow here, however. Just get that first little goop out. It's really better when it flows like a steady stream. Oh, I'm making such a mess out of these, but there is a chance, it'll work. Or I'll just be reminded not to try everything on one set of paintings. That can be a little bit over the top. But it's just my mood today. I don't always come into the studio all fresh and full of ideas. Sometimes I have to really coax them out, and sometimes they're not very good ideas, so they don't work. And then sometimes they're spectacular and they work like I could never have imagined. So that's my dance for today. I'm tempted to do some of that over here too. Why not? You know, the glue is going to dry transparent. And it just depends on how much I squeeze and how fast I move as to what the width and the, you know, the shape of the line is. This is giving me real kind of 60s vibe. Okay, we'll see. And besides, you know, it's good to have fun and it's good to experiment and try things. And if they don't work out, it's good to know there's always another painting. So thank you for joining me today. And I'll keep you posted, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next tape. Have fun. Don't forget to go out and make art. So I'm so happy that you are joining me today, and maybe other days too. I'll take you through my day-to-day as an artist, and I look forward to seeing you on the next tape. Thanks for being here.